Hello friends, it's Laura from Cool Mom and Collected, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing 15 reasons why my husband and I decided to homeschool our kids. If you guys don't know, my name is Laura. I live in a 36-foot RV with my family of 5, soon to be 6, and we have a 4.5-year-old, a 2.5-year-old, a 1-year-old, and a baby on the way. I also want to quickly disclaim, if you are not a homeschooling mom, if you're not planning on being a homeschooling mom, I hope you know that I'm not throwing shade at anyone that does send their kids to school. In fact, I would love if in the comments section you would share your reasons for sending your kids to school, and maybe we can all learn the benefits of both sides. If you like this video and want to see more homeschool content, more homemaking, motherhood type content, then please subscribe. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, and tell me, are you homeschooling this year? If you are, what grades? I would love to know. I would love to swap some secrets, as I am a first-time homeschool mom and I am so excited. So let's get into reason number 1, why we chose to homeschool. The first reason is pretty simple. It's just that I want to teach my kids. I want to be the one to see them grasp these concepts as they grow, making memories together while teaching them and just seeing them learn. These are all things that are very exciting to me. I feel like you're only a mom once and you only get to teach them once, and so having this valuable time to homeschool just seems really, really sweet and priceless. I wasn't homeschooled myself, but my mom was my principal and my teacher at times growing up, and so I know the value of having a mother nearby. I know the great respect that comes with having a mother as a teacher or in a high position over you, and so I just really think that this is a beautiful opportunity to have that same experience even one step further with my own children. Number 2 is to set a biblical foundation. In our family, the Bible is what drives us. I feel like there's more consistency that I can implement with my kids when I'm teaching them that biblical foundation at home, as opposed to sending them to school where they might be receiving a different kind of worldview, and some of that may actually contradict the beliefs that we hold at home. I do want to show them primarily and firstly the foundation of what our family believes and why. That way when they go out into the world, they're able to love everyone that they meet while standing firm in their faith and in what they believe. The third reason that we want to homeschool is the schedule flexibility. So like I mentioned, we live in an RV and we have traveled before with the military for about a year's time, which was super, super amazing. Homeschooling fits in really well with a house on wheels. I feel like the flexibility of being able to go away for 2 weeks, you know, when you're at school, in school, taking your kid out for 2 weeks could be kind of detrimental. When you're homeschooling, you can still homeschool on the go, and so there's just so much flexibility. You could homeschool in the morning, you could homeschool at night, you could homeschool in the afternoon. There are people that homeschool year-round. There are people that homeschool like a regular school year, and then they have summers off. There's just so much opportunity to fit your family's needs when it comes to homeschooling. Number 4, one-on-one time with a child where they can grow and learn at their own pace, not the pace of a classroom. When you have 30, 15, even 10 kids in a classroom, you can't guarantee that every single child is going to learn the same way. And so the beauty of homeschooling one-on-one with your child is that you're able to really connect with that child in the way that they learn best. It's so much more of an intimate way of teaching, which I really love and I'm really excited for. Number 5, homeschooling allows for additional skills and topics that they might want to learn. Maybe they want to learn this topic that the school wasn't planning on going over, but you're at home, so you could just do whatever you want. They might want to learn to skateboard. They might want to learn about dinosaur fossils, or they might want to learn guitar, piano, things that might not be offered at the school. All this additional time that you have, you can really tackle other areas that the student is interested in, and not just keeping up again with the demands of what the class has to learn for the majority there. It gets me really excited to be able to ask my kids, what do you want to learn about? What's something different that you want to learn about? And I just don't think that they're going to get that opportunity at school, and so it excites me to nurture those areas of creativity that they may otherwise not have found. Number 6, my husband and I have just had really good experiences with homeschoolers. So it's funny because in the past, I think on TV, you kind of see homeschoolers as kind of being weird, shy, introverted, but my husband and my experience meeting homeschoolers has been completely different. We've actually met homeschoolers as children and homeschoolers as adults when we went to college, and we found that they were some of the most respectful, smart, entrepreneurial, go-getters, huge value on the family, love for their siblings. I mean, these were people that I admired and was like, I want my kid to be like you. So while I know that these are qualities that even a child that goes to school can have, I did see these qualities very consistently through the homeschoolers that I met. And can we just clear this up, that people that think if you homeschool, you're going to be weird, let me just make it clear for you, okay? If the parents are peculiar, the kids will be peculiar, okay? A parent themselves as a homeschooler, being with their kid all day is going to have a really big impact on them. So I just want to encourage you guys, if you think that you're going to homeschool your kid and that they're going to turn into a weirdo, I got a question for you. Are you a weirdo? Because if you are, that might be why your kid turns into one. Just kidding. I do think you don't have to worry about that. There are plenty of ways to socialize your children. And I'm going to get into that in another one of my reasons. We're able to really instill this attitude of respect for authority because it's starting at home with the mom. If you don't respect your mom, I don't really know how you're going to respect someone else. If you don't respect the person who gave you life, I don't really know how you're going to respect somebody else. So I love this idea of kind of instilling this respect, this love for family, and this appreciation for the home. Number 7, more time in nature, less time in the classroom. So I love that homeschool allows us to spend more time in nature. There's so much to explore, especially as a child. There's just so many hours of the day that can be done outside. There's opportunities to learn out there too. If it's a beautiful day, I love that we can go outside and we can learn on picnic tables in the beautiful sun, all day, the entire class. If it's raining, we can come inside. We can homeschool at my mom's house. We can homeschool on vacation. You're not confining your child to this is where you learn. You're expanding learning to everywhere around you. And I think it's really beautiful for a child to see opportunities to learn all around them, not just in the classroom. Number 8, having multiple children. I love that my children will be learning together and from each other. So having my kids together at home, learning together, even though they might be learning different things, they're actually quite close in age where I think that there's going to be lots of opportunity to teach each other, to be each other's classmates. I think that's only going to give them sort of a stronger bond. At least my hope is that they have a lot of sweet memories working together in homeschool, learning together, teaching each other. And honestly, already I'm seeing the older kids teach the younger. And so I'm like, how beautiful is this going to be when we start really implementing different things and I can sit my kids down and just have learning become sort of this family thing that we enjoy doing together. Number 9, no homework. With homeschooling, when we're done, we're done. They don't have extra homework. I mean, unless you want to give it to them, they don't have extra homework. Whereas in school, the kids are getting home, they're already exhausted, already tired, especially after learning like 8 hours of the day, and especially after a parent who is working so hard comes home from work. The last thing that you really want is to have to spend this stressful time figuring out this math or this science or whatever it is. I mean, to me, it just seems a little overkill. Number 10, creating a safe learning environment that builds much confidence in your child. Peer pressure, comparison, competition, stress, these are all things that can be wrapped around learning in a school setting. A mom or dad can really create a safe place for their child to learn, to make mistakes, to not be embarrassed, to just kind of build their own self-confidence, learning the way that they learn best, not comparing themselves to other people. Something I heard recently that got me super excited for homeschooling and really just lifted the pressure off. It was just like a little saying on Instagram or something. It said, my kid is falling behind, ... And then it said after that, behind who? Because in homeschooling, your kid is not being compared to anybody else except themselves. And that is such a awesome thing for them to have that security that they're not comparing themselves to Sarah May, who keeps getting A's when they keep getting D's. They're just comparing themselves to themselves. 11, I want to be the prime influence on my children. In a school setting, when you're with a teacher for say 8 hours a day, or you're with friends or students, other students for 8 hours a day, I no longer feel like I'm really being the prime influence. If they were to come home and I would only have a few hours, I wouldn't really feel like that's sufficient enough to make my mark. Then I feel like weekends would kind of come a little stressful, feeling like this is my time to really reteach what we believe at home instead of what is being, maybe some of the things that are being taught at school. Like I said, you're only a mom once. Your kids are only that young once. I mean, these are memories that I just am not willing to sacrifice. Like, I want to be there for them all. Number 12, more family time and stronger bonds. Being able to homeschool your kid at home obviously saves so many hours that they would otherwise be away at school, and so it gives so much more opportunity for family time, as well as what I believe is stronger bonds with their siblings, with their parents. Obviously, it's not going to work itself. You're going to have to put a lot of hard work into making those times memorable in a positive way. You know, anyone can just leave their kid at home and not necessarily form these great memories in these moments. But if you put the work in and if the child is able to be home, I think that you could create a really strong bond around family and a really strong bond around the appreciation of each member and everything that they do. When a child's at school, they come home at the end of the night, they usually have dinner and then they go to bed. They don't really get to see the whole production of what happens at home, of everything mommy does, everything daddy does, how they can be a team with their siblings to kind of help the house flow, or just learn these life skills that they're gonna need, like cooking, you know, cleaning. 13, field trips, making learning fun. You can get really creative. You can literally learn whatever you want to learn about with your child if it benefits them, and then you can even set up like a field trip to bring the learning to life. I saw someone recently who was teaching about colonial times, and they ended up booking an all-day trip to Colonial Williamsburg, and they dressed their kids up and they brought them there and they learned all about it. They literally like put themselves into the textbook and learned and brought the whole thing to life. So I love the idea of, yeah, being able to study dinosaurs and then bringing them to a museum. Not to mention the fact that when you're homeschooling, you're able to do things during the week, where on the weekends it would be more busy. When you're doing things in the week, you just have the world is your oyster, you know. Number 14, I love that children can learn life skills on the day-to-day. They're not sitting in a desk all day. They're actually getting out there too in life and really learning manners, learning life skills in the moment. And they're able to see how the world turns basically on a day-to-day. Even taking my kids to the grocery store, like there's just so much to learn everywhere, and homeschool really opens up those opportunities. And finally, number 15, the reason we're excited to homeschool is no 8-hour days. I really don't want my children to be sitting in desks for like 8 hours with like a 20-minute or even an hour break in between. I really love the idea of letting my kids being outside, exploring outside, having memories outside, learning outside. I love that 8 hours becomes like 3 in homeschooling, or maybe a little more, maybe a little less, depending on the age range. That is really attractive to me. And like I said, it allows us to do more things as a family, and it just really seems to fit what we're looking for when raising our children. So guys, I hope that you enjoyed those 15 reasons. Let me know in the comments below, what was one of the reasons that you decided to homeschool your children? Or let us know why you decided not to homeschool your children. There's no better way over the other, but there's definitely usually a way that works better for each family. And so let's all respect that and learn from each other in the comments below. I hope that you subscribe so you can follow along for more homeschooling content, as doing this for the first time, I'm going to be sharing a lot, and I'm probably going to be looking for advice and maybe like sharing some inspirational things as well. So make sure that you like this video if you liked it. Again, leave me those comments, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!